is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And I'm joined by two guys that are training your YouTube algorithm to give you big, sexy guys talking about sports cards. They are Joe Day and EP are back. How you doing, guys?
Oh, we apologize?
No, you're welcome. You are welcome.
Okay.
I mean, if they're getting big, sexy guys talking about sports cards, they're only getting our videos, clearly, because who else is there? Yeah, this is the crew right here.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Beefy, I think is the term that's used.
Yep,
off the rails already.
Oh, well, people love that, I guess.
I think they do. As you can see from, I'll let
he
go
finally
first.
Cleaned up all the
that's what
cards. He actually lives in
like.
that beautiful apartment.
I painted. I got a couple lamps. Yeah, great. Definitely. Yeah.
Once a year, he does that big clean out. And
every time you're in that room, I swear to God, I think it is a green screen. It is like picture perfect.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's
real,
you're
so used to seeing my normal background that you're like, oh gosh, what is this? It doesn't look real.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Wild.
Yeah, the color,
amazing.
the brightness, it makes you look healthier down there. You look like you lost 20 pounds just sitting there.
But its liver gained all that 20 pounds.
Oh,
It did actually. Actually, it was transferred to my liver. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You just
Well,
can't
listen,
see it.
there is a heat advisory here, 109, a heat index of 109. So that said, like the very first warning is like the thing that says is stay hydrated. So that's what I've been doing. I've been staying as hydrated as possible, drinking as many liquids as possible. So that's what I'm doing.
I don't think that's what they mean.
I'm with EP on this one. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yep.
So take our advice. If you're out mowing and it's really, really hot, stay hydrated with, I assume you're drinking something, EP. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking. I have multiple beverages here for the show. I'm going to crack open my beer. Joe, are you having a beverage?
I actually, in a refreshing way here, there's a little scratch card tea, peach tea, and lemonade. Okay. I'm not going to say where it's from because those sons of bitches still haven't sponsored us. So, EP, cheers to your vacation, sir.
Cheers to you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a caffeine-free diet Pepsi.
That's what he said.
That's a Bush apple. So that's a bush apple. And then this is, Mike, to you. This is a little vodka transfusion.
See, had I known
Delicious.
you were going to bring multiple drinks, I would have brought a second one up. I was going to make myself a Moscow Mule. But you're like, no, I can't drink hard.
Well, listen, I got called out in the text thread, and so I figured I better get a mixed drink. So
I did. It was good.
This was my pre-game drink.
Yeah,
I got him.
Yep. Reeled him in.
Oh wow! So how's it going, boys? It's new and exciting, Joe.
You asked if we had anything for the top earlier, and I was like, no. And then I literally just now looked behind me. Whoop, over. Nope. Right here. And I actually just remembered, hand to God, go check out Baseball Card Collector Investor Dealer's video on unique collections. He actually highlighted my Patrick Stewart collection, which was pretty freaking awesome. So lots of really, really weird and unique things. And I think he's going to make that a staple in his catalog of videos, because a lot of people, it's already up to it came out Saturday morning. By Sunday, the last time I checked, so yesterday, it was up to over 6,000 views. So
that's awesome.
A lot of people on
really,
it.
really cool.
Yeah,
it must be. But it was weird. Some people are like, hey, did you see we were on Crystal's video? Messaging me. I go, yeah, actually, he never said Joe Day. He just said Joe. So there could be a Joe out there with a Patrick Stewart collection. But I just want to let everyone know it was my Patrick Stewart collection. So I am the Joe in that video. So there you go.
That's awesome. Joe, I also was going to say before we started, because as we were doing our little chit chat beforehand, but I love the labels on your binders. We can finally see your binders behind you, and I love the labels on there. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's very, very cool.
Yeah, those are Rittenhouse because Rittenhouse was started by someone who worked at Skybox, famously Steve Cherendoff. Go watch our interview with him; it was a lot of fun. But that was the Skybox thing that he brought over to Rittenhouse, and now Rittenhouse does binders for every set, which is awesome. So the first few in the bookshelf are Skybox, and then it goes to Rittenhouse. But yeah, really cool. Fun stuff. Speaking of Rittenhouse, OEP. Speaking of Rittenhouse. So I apologize to everyone out there. I need to do a little accounting. Okay. So hold on. Let me get a pen here.
Oh, that's official. Look at that pad.
Yeah. So I got my pad here. I got my pen. Now, EP.
Yeah.
We discussed off camera last week.
Okay.
That you felt that Rittenhouse Game of Thrones products were too expensive for you to purchase.
Yep. Dookie.
And I said, no, I think when they first come out, you can get a good deal on them. And I have a contact. And then, so you said I couldn't do that. That's no way you could do that. Well, I sent you guys the email I got back from my hookup, my Rittenhouse hookup. And it turns out, yes, I did. I sent you a screen cap of an email where my friend was like, oh, yeah. You honestly didn't see it?
I saw it. I'm playing.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're just playing.
Yeah.
So, EP, in your wrongness, how many cases can I put you down for? Because they are much cheaper. They are even cheaper than I thought they were going to be.
Let me check the checklist, because the price that you showed was a really good price. Let me check the checklist and see that if I actually do want to buy it, and I will buy it. So.
So
no, seriously. No. Listen, the issue is it's called I forget the name of it, but it seems like there might not be as good like stuff in there as possibly with some of the other stuff that they have. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's. Let me check the checklist.
All right, so you're backing out. Right, what I'm hearing, Mike.
I am not backing out. I'm
hearing that too. Yeah.
Before I make an investment in a large investment,
I'm putting the pad down. I'm putting the pen away, because clearly you are not taking this seriously, sir.
If there is a case of something to open and it's something from Game of Thrones and it's a Rittenhouse product and it's something that I actually want to open, I will buy a case of it. But
lots of caveats there. That one at the very end.
The one at the very end.
Yeah.
I want to check the checklist. I just want to check the checklist. Let me check the checklist.
With the amount that you've spent on beer, you could have put that towards a Rittenhouse case.
I mean, the one is paying for an experience and one is paying for a product, and I'm more about experience.
You will never remember. Let's be completely honest.
I have not blacked out once, Joe Day. I've only been on vacation for a day and a half, but I have not blacked out once in that day and a half.
No, 2.5 days, because it's Monday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2.5 days.
Yeah.
I don't.
See, you already
He already did.
I lost all of Sunday.
He lost all of Sunday. Wow.
Oh wow, boy.
Yes,
we are off the rails. Drive this train.
Yeah, this week. Earlier, before I went on vacation, I really wanted to get a bunch of stuff listed, so go be scheduled and go throughout the week. But I had a crazy last couple of days at work before it, and didn't have time to get anything scheduled. So
wait, while you're away though, your buddy Rob runs the.
Rob's gonna say,
so
yeah.
It should be taken care of, right?
It is, but I need to give him a couple things to kind of help him along.
Okay.
I mean,
because you're a good friend.
A couple minor things, here and there, just to make sure things go smoothly.
But while you're away, I know Rob puts the paper together.
Yeah, mostly help the other people. Mostly help everybody else. Rob's good on his own. Rob's got he's good. Just a couple
as an aside, I would trust my Rob to run the paper more than your Rob. I'm just throwing that out there. He never watches our podcast or listens. He won't know what we're talking about.
If Rob read the paper, like every page would just be pictures.
It would be. Yeah,
his Rob. Yeah.
I said to him like a couple weeks ago, or maybe this just last week. I said, "Do you ever listen to any podcasts? Ever watch any podcasts or whatever?" And he was like, "No." And then he said, "I was thinking about what you said, and I was about not listening to podcasts." And so I listened to a podcast. Like, "Oh, was it mine? My other podcast?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Come on, Rob."
Does he listen to your podcast you do with him?
I don't think so. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure he does or not. But
so that's a daily item thing, apparently. Apparently, that's a daily item thing where you don't listen to the podcast that you're a part of. That's very strange. Very strange rule they have there. But, okay.
Man. Well, before I forget, I want to let the viewers know YouTube has a new area. It was the community tab before. I don't know if it's community or posts or whatever it is, but you can interact with us. If you're a subscriber of the channel, you can leave posts for us, just like any other social media. You can talk to us. Like if you want to tell us how great of an episode it is outside of the comments here, go ahead and tell us. So we want to start trying to use that a little bit. I'll work on that and see what kind of fun and exciting things we can throw up there for you. But check that out. I am actually considering doing a card show. EP has been after me for a while.
Do it.
We want to get Joe to come to it too, though.
Yes.
So that would be great.
There's potential. There is legit potential. Yes.
Think of the content we could record, the three of us together set up at a card show. And people would be flocking. It would be like bigger than the National. Where are they going to put all the people at the mall?
I would say we could record some of our golfing as well and splice it into a video.
Oh, that would be a lot.
Because if I'm coming out for the card show, we're playing around at golf.
Oh yeah,
like it has to be done. Okay.
I wonder if they see enough people walking around with our Mike's Retro Trading Cards like shirts. They're like, hey, listen, we'll give you a discount on your table next time since you're drawing all these people to our show. How about it? Like if they may give us a discount.
So buy shirts is what I'm hearing EP say.
I'm not telling people to buy shirts.
Why not?
What?
Okay, yeah, buy shirts.
The link is in the description. We have a new supplier now, and they do a better job. So check that out.
Will they actually send this stuff out?
There's a cool hat. Yes, there's a cool hat there now too.
Yeah, I need to get a hat. I personally need to get a hat myself. Yes, because it's a trucker. I think it's trucker hats, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely. Perfect for summer. It's the perfect temperature for a trucker hat. Everyone.
It is.
I'm
totally.
throwing that out there.
You're gonna want that with the hot weather out there.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Keep that head cool.
Get a second one to mow in. Right. Get a second one to wear while you mow. I mean, come on. Perfect.
I wish I had one right now for the heat index, the crazy heat we're having, but I don't have one. I have to get one.
You just have to hydrate even more, is what you're saying.
Yep. You would have to actually watch our videos to be able to find the link to click on to buy one EP. Yeah. So it's never going to happen. Yeah, I love that the people in the comments like just say stuff about EP now too, because they're like, well, since EP will never see this, ... And
and that has started.
It has been.
But then other people then like say very nice things about EP, and I'm like, why are you posting this? He's never gonna read it.
Well, whatever you do, definitely don't go down in the comment section this week and leave a comment that says, since EP doesn't read this ... and then say something. Whatever you do, do not do that.
Every comment.
Don't do that. I trust me, you don't want to do that.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, we better get into it. I've lost control of this show already.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
It's all because EP is on vacation.
That's what happens.
That cleaned up room down there is throwing me off. I'm off 100%. The game. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You should travel with like 5,000 count boxes to just throw stuff behind you, honestly. Like,
or to sleep on. Yeah.
Like stack them on this bed back here.
Well, can we wrap it up there?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Well, Fanatics Fest was this past weekend. We weren't there. Unfortunately, we weren't there. I'm just going to editorialize here a little bit. I was watching the videos of it and stuff, and I have no FOMO of it. I was watching, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't go there. I'm going to miss not being at the National this year. I'm already starting to feel FOMO. But Fanatics Fest, not something I really feel like I missed out, but it looked like people were having a good time. It was a pretty impressive setup. Looked like it was bigger than last year. A lot of the sports activations and stuff like that. People love the WWE entrance. Mm-hmm. That just looks like a blast. But there were some interesting things going on there card wise. They had Victor Wembanyama, I guess, playing chess with people, which was kind of interesting because they like to play chess. The card show area, I've seen some mixed reports about the prices. Again, the prices sounded pretty high on a lot of the cards that were there because they're paying a fortune to be there and they're charging stuff. Goes back to what we talked about last year. If you're trying to get new people into the hobby and they're walking into the card area and seeing $5,000 and $10,000 cards, I'm not sure your conversion rate is going to be all that high, but you know, we participate at a different level of the hobby than a lot of people do. So maybe I'm just wrong about that. But Topps has been releasing some interesting social media posts, videos of Victor Wembanyama buying autographed Luke Skywalker Star Wars card. I
believe it's this. Is it this one? That's
it is that one. Yes.
yeah,
I believe it is that one. Yeah. Alex Rodriguez buying cards. Problem is, apparently these are staged.
What?
Who would have guessed?
No, what?
Get out. Get out.
I had my conspiracy hat on the ready, but apparently Mike transported it 4 hours to Central PA.
I cannot confirm because I was not there, but there was a dealer there on Twitter that apparently, like, he showed a picture of the Wembanyama thing. They had the whole aisle closed off so nobody could get in there. So all the dealers who were paying thousands of dollars at tables had to take that time to not sell anything because nobody could look at their stuff. But I guess they brought the cards over and they needed, if you watch the video, find the video. Victor Wembanyama is not necessarily convincing when he's asked which your favorite character was, and he was like pointed to this guy, the Darth Vader card, like he didn't even say Darth Vader. It was bad. And the Alex Rodriguez one, he didn't know what a gem mint card was. He's like, well, is it perfect? Like it was just bad. He apparently traded.
Doesn't his buddy have a grading company?
Yeah, apparently he traded NBA tickets for some Kevin Garnett and Anthony Edwards cards. I know what this, like, Fanatics Fest is it's a big marketing tool for Fanatics. I understand this, but when you're coming into the card hobby and you have to fake stuff, I know it's done all the time. A lot of YouTube content creators fake it. I'm not saying it's fake, but Jeff Wilson was offering part of his company to Alex Rodriguez. So, I'm not saying that I don't know this doesn't happen, but come on. Like, at least try to make it more believable. Am I just a miserable old man that just always wants to crap on everything?
Yes, no, that's me.
I am. I'm that too.
Yeah.
But
way back in episode 1, drink if you got them, obviously. Hold on. Way back in episode 1, I did talk about how I want real collectors that are athletes, not the fake stuff, right? So, like, I'm sure there are plenty of athletes, high-profile athletes who collect cards. I'm sure there are. You don't have to fake it. And I think the best point you made there, Mike, was about closing off other people's stands.
Yeah.
So that you could have this staged event. If you're going to do something staged like that, just do it somewhere else, right?
And he had a picture of it. It's not just him saying it. There was a picture from his viewpoint. They had it closed off here where Wembanyama was, but all the way down at the end of the aisle, they had it closed off.
And I remember when we talked about Fanatics Fest the first time, I think it might have been you and IEP went back and forth a little bit on whether they would have like dollar cards. I'm like, they ain't having dollar cards. These tables are way too expensive. And that, you are a hopeful individual, EP. That's what we love about you. But come on now. So, like, for them to close off that area, just have it in a green room type thing. And maybe, I don't know, ask Wemby what he actually likes. Like, the reason it was Star Wars is because they have the Star Wars IP. Right? Like, it could have been Marvel. Why didn't they ask him what? Because they don't have high-end Marvel cards out yet.
They had the Rizzler opening a box of Marvel.
I don't know who that is. So anyway,
people do.
Apparently people do. I don't know, but yeah, it's like, I get it. It's a marketing thing, but they've done a lot of this like fake stuff. Like, I don't need athletes to tell me what cards I should like, and they're buying cards that we can't afford anyway, really. So what are we doing here? I don't know. Who is this bringing into the hobby? Was there a Wemby fan who's like, oh my God, he bought a Star Wars card? I need to buy Star Wars cards now. Like, I don't know. Is that really what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, like Mike said, this is a giant vehicle, like an advertising vehicle for Fanatics, right? Like that's what this is practically for. But you would think that their marketing people then should be involved with it, and their marketing people should know, like, don't give us this fake thing, like with like nobody else around Victor Wembanyama. Like, actually, like have it be part of the show. Like, figure out a way to make it work and make it look realistic. But if the cameras are going to be there, we have to expect that it's probably going to be at least somewhat staged, right? Like that's the bottom line. If you're gonna have cameras there, it's somewhat staged. But to block everything off and make it not even look like the real thing, that's a very weird choice. And then to what Mike was talking about with like the $5,000 and $10,000 cards about getting people into the card hobby. I mean, that's not the kind of people they want in the card hobby. They want those really big fish to come in, the people that are going to be spending thousands of dollars on breaks or whatever. So, I mean, like they're looking to get these people in there that have very, very deep pockets. And once you buy their very, very expensive stuff, and they care more about them than they do, like you said, Joe, more than they do about the $1 card people. And like that's just kind of where we are.
They want to 10x the hobby financially, but not people, right?
10x,
because it's easier to do it financially than it would be to 10x people.
By 10xing the hobby, they mean 10xing their bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they would rather have one person that will buy a 10,000 card than 1,000 of us in the hobby. So, one person that does have a lot of money that apparently entered the hobby is Washington Commanders owner Josh Harris, because he apparently paid $500,000 for the Jaden Daniels Black Finite Prism 1-of-1 card. Roth Cards sold that to him at the show, apparently to be put on display. This is now the second team, not team. The Schemes one was a business that was kind of affiliated with team, but from out there. Right. But big companies, teams buying high price cards to use for marketing. We're in a different world now, but $500,000 for that card. Is that right?
It's all about generating the headlines, right? It's about generating the headlines. So I'm sorry, Joe.
No, that's fine. It's funny though. Like, didn't Jeff Wilson buy the 101 from Roth last year of Desmond Ritter for like $100,000, and this is before he actually even started a game. So like Jaden Daniels, I mean, rookie of the year, he was. I mean, I don't think he was quite an All-Pro, but he was really, really damn good. Like 5 times the value of a Desmond Ritter. I feel like that's accurate. I don't think that's an unrealistic amount for that specific
or maybe
card.
The person who bought the Desmond Ritter card made a really bad purchase.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone who is a big Jeff Wilson fan out there.
Yeah,
I apologize
can't be
now.
Doing that, Joe.
That content creator on content creator crime. But EP, if you read the comments, you know what we're talking about. But anyway, getting back to this, it doesn't seem like an outlandish amount. I will say it's kind of funny that one of the biggest headlines from Fanatics Fest was a Prism card changing hands. That's kind of great. Or a Panini card changing hands. I mean, because the rumor at first was that Michael Reuben bought it. Now, how funny would that have been if Michael Reuben bought a Panini card at Fanatics Fest? But yeah, and I think I sent you guys a picture of Roth and Taxi, who's his buddy, and Jaden Daniels and the owner taking a group picture with the card. I mean, I actually kind of like it. If you're a Commanders fan and you go to a game, you can see the card. I mean, that's kind of neat. I mean, because only one person can own it. If one person's going to own it, kind of neat that the person that's going to own it is going to have it on display.
I like it. Like, I like the Dick's Sporting Goods getting that Schemes card. I think it's a really good marketing thing. In the same respect, it's also because it is going to be a marketing thing. It's going to be a tax write-off, and it's going to be all the sorts of things where it's part of their whole marketing campaign. But I mean, again, Daniels is more like Schemes than it is about than anything like Spencer Rattler. Is that what you said it was?
Yeah,
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter. It's the same difference. But anyhow, yeah. So I mean, like, I really feel like this is a really good move on their part to get this card. And again, I think they pushed it up to $500,000 to get that $500,000 headline, because that's going to show up in some mainstream media, and it's going to generate some interest in it that beyond just the normal stuff. And this is another example of going back to episode 1 again, the synergy that we're talking about with these companies. Like, there's no way, if Fanatics wasn't involved with this, that this card would have probably sold for this amount of money to an owner of a NFL team. I feel like that's all part of it. It's all trying to make Fanatics happy. I don't know if there's a deal in the works or whatever, but they sell cards at stadiums now. Maybe they're going to get a few more cards, or maybe it's something like that. Maybe they got a little bit extra money toward the amount of money.
I said that about Dick's Sporting Goods, and everyone made fun of me on this panel. You sons of bitches.
I didn't. I don't think I made fun. I think Dick's. I think I knew Dick's was selling cards. But anyhow, yeah. So I think that it's a really good marketing opportunity for them and Fanatics. It's a good relationship builder there for those two companies, or the two entities.
Okay, I don't have a conspiracy hat, and I don't like to throw conspiracy theories out there. Okay, so if you don't like this kind of thing, just skip ahead for a minute or two. I need to throw this out there though, because it's a little tidbit of information that I saw.
It's not letting me skip ahead. What is happening here? I'm gonna skip ahead.
There is a Twitter account, a very big one, of a card seller who deals in a lot of high-end cards, who was the person who originally said that Michael Reuben was the person that bought this card. Sunday morning, he quote tweeted his tweet saying this is not satire, leading me to take that he is inferring that maybe Josh Harris wasn't the person that bought the card. Maybe it actually was Michael Reuben, or set up by Michael Reuben. Total conspiracy, but I saw it, so I've been thinking about it, and I've been wondering, because it would be a bad look if Michael Reuben bought that card himself, but it would be a good look if maybe one of his buddies that owns the team bought it. Just want your thoughts.
Hey, Josh, I need a favor. Hey, come on. Right? Like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't be surprised if he brokered a deal. Like, I could see that happening. I mean, or maybe Michael Reuben just actually likes licensed cards. I don't know.
But I do want to point out that, like, Josh Harris owns the Sixers too, I believe, and Reuben was a minority owner.
That's a good point. I didn't know that.
So, like, they're connected. So,
synergy.
Just throwing that out there.
That would be wild if the owner of Topps wanted a Panini card, but I mean, it's a nice looking card. I mean, I know EP doesn't like the look of any.
Maybe Panini that's cards, why he couldn't say he bought
listen,
it.
Yeah, right.
The Finite 101s actually look pretty awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie. They're
cool. Look at that! Mark it down. There you go.
Go Panini.
Yeah.
Let's not go that far. Let's pump the brakes on that one. Sorry.
What's wrong with Panini? Panini, they've done a lot for the hobby. Well, since we brought up Michael Reuben, I need to get to this. Michael Reuben was interviewed in the lead up to Fanatics Fest, and he made a very bold claim. He said that the MLB debut patch was the best innovation in hobby history. So I just want to get your thoughts on that. I mean, it is a great card. It's a very innovative card. Is it the biggest innovation in hobby history, Joe?
No, it's not. It's a great innovation. It really is a great innovation. Because, but it's just a level up from two things that were already innovated, like game worn and autographs were already things, and they were already things that were put together. And 101 is not an innovation. That's already been a thing. So it's just a level up of two innovations that were already combined into one. And now it's the next level of that. So no, like as we talk about it as it being an innovation, that kind of just tells you how bad innovation has been over the last 10 years, where we were blown away by this. And again, he thinks it's such a good innovation. They're going to bastardize the hell out of it. Our buddy Frank messages me every time he sees any sort of new patch or logo on a uniform when he's watching a baseball game. Love you, Frank. I mean, and honestly, yeah, he's probably right on 99% of them that they're going to end up on cards. So yeah, it's an innovation in the sense that they leveled up previous innovations that were made in the 90s, for God's sake. So yeah, no, it's not the greatest innovation ever in cards. I'm guessing, I don't know, actual photos might have been the biggest innovation ever in the history of cards. Maybe the consistent size of cards, which has endured for, I don't know, like 70 years. Like, no, this is not the greatest innovation, but he's selling his product. He is selling his brand. I would say, I don't know if he even believes that, but he knows so little about cards. Maybe he does because he just doesn't know. Right.
Yeah, I mean, Joe hit the nail on the head on multiple points, like the 1952 tops, like making the cards the size they were and the full color and that sort of stuff. And then also like take like the first pack pulled autographs, the Reggie Jackson cards in 1990, and then the first game worn jerseys were, I think they were Upper Deck probably, right? I can't remember what year it was, but
they were
like
hockey cards, yeah.
And so I mean, like it's like they're and Joe, you said they combined three things because they got the 101 on top of that. You brought that up, but you said combine two things, combine three things, but combining the three things that were the innovation to make one innovation, while it tastes great, while it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup and chocolate and peanut butter together is amazing. It's not an innovation where like we want like true innovation. This is just a iteration on three great things that are already pretty great. Like we want to see something really cool. Like we haven't seen anything like as much as we love this thing. Like we actually want to see real innovation that
right.
Like,
don't make us hate it.
Blows our mind. Yeah.
Don't make us hate it now by saying shit like that. Like whenever a quarterback has a really good game and greatest quarterback of all time. Okay, now I was rooting for this guy. Now I'm kind of hating him because everyone thinks it's the greatest thing. I mean that's kind of how I feel. Maybe it's just the curmudgeon in me, but like I really wanted to like this thing, and now people coming out saying this is the greatest card ever made. It's like when Ken Gold held up the most important card in the last 20 years, the LeBron 101 logo man. I don't know. Once you start talking like that, now I take the opposite side. Now I'm like, I hate that card, and I hope they never do them again. You know,
Joe needs a T-shirt that says maybe it's the curmudgeon in me. ...
Maybe. I mean, it's Michael Reuben, so
right.
he owns the company. He's selling these products.
Oh yeah, marketing. Yeah.
I don't know whether he believes it or not, but I do know that he can't throw a baseball. So
he can host one hell of a white party, though.
He can, yes. And you know, one other thing from Fanatics Fest before we get off this, Joe Burrow might throw a baseball as badly as Michael Reuben. So,
really,
he embarrassed himself.
Same motion.
Trying to throw it. It was all go. He was holding on to it too long, and everything was going like a way left of the target.
Trying to throw a spiral with the baseball.
Yeah,
I think.
Don't hurt yourself. I have him in so many fantasy teams, man. Just chill.
Poor Joe. Terrible. Well, if you didn't get to Fanatics Fest like we didn't, there's hope, because you can watch on ESPN starting on July 7th, Fanatics Fest All Access. They had cameras there and they were filming. So this will actually, I'm interested to see if they have any card content in this there. It'll be pretty interesting. So
they'll have the Wembanyama buying a Luke Skywalker card, like shit like
probably,
that.
And
but they're not going to show actual people buying and selling cards.
People like us. That we won't be see people like us on this thing.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Maybe we'll watch that and talk about it at the time. But one thing that I haven't heard anything about, there was a big announcement this week. Let me not get too far ahead of myself. There's a brand new grading company, fellas. we are always excited when there is competition entering the grading space. And this time it's going to be done with AI. Because we need AI grading in the hobby because nobody has ever sold us this line before. But a new fully AI grading company named Zeegly, Zeagly. You might want to go back and do a little bit of market research on the name Zeegly. Oh, I got the Zeegly 10.
They're off to a great start.
Come on, Zeegly. Plus, apparently they had it spelled 2 different ways in their press release, but I cannot confirm nor deny that. But apparently it is founded by a quote unquote former engineers from Amazon, Google, and Meta. They used a photoshopped PSA slab with their Zeegly logo and their on the front. I can't make this stuff up.
Is this real? Is it
this is supposed to be real. They were supposed to be doing something at Fanatics Fest, but I have not seen anybody showing anything about it yet. I was looking
maybe on the ESPN doc.
Maybe it might be on there. Apparently the system will take 300 seconds to look at a card, which is way longer than a human grader does, but they do have or are working on a portable system that they can take to shows and stuff that will be able to grade it in a second with 95% accuracy. I mean, we're in, right? Can I
get up to 100% accuracy if they look at it for 2 seconds?
Right.
I'm fine with that at that point.
Take the full 300 seconds to give me an accurate grade.
Which is 5 minutes, by the way. 5 minutes. Just put 5
why
minutes.
Would you...
It takes 5 minutes. Why are we putting... It's like...
How many cards can we grade
it's,
when we're taking 5 minutes to scan it per card?
It's like when you have a 20-year-old child and you're like, yeah, they're 4,280 months or whatever. Like, come on now. What are we doing here? Like, this is ridiculous. And no one wants AI, by the way, as an aside. No one wants AI.
They never
if it's accurate, no one wants it.
Yeah.
I
feel like they would have done themselves a better service if they would have said, well, we use AI for 95% of it, and then the last 5% is human. Like, we'll get all the centering. We even said ourselves, like, why are they not using something to get the centering and the very basic stuff out of the way, and then just actually use a human to say this card looks amazing, this looks perfect, and that is the objective part of it, subjective part of it, whatever the correct word is that the one? And this card is a 10.
The computer would be the objective part. The human would be the subjective part.
That's what I meant. So get the subjective part of it. Yeah.
But again, I mean, yeah, if that was the case, that would probably work out better. That being said, I've been consistent on this channel. No one wants AI because it would give less 10s. People would rather the grader fuck up and give them a 6 one time, but you know what? That next time they'll give them a 10. They'd rather that than an actual accurate grade. So this company sounds like it's a shit show regardless from the way you're describing it. So this is, I suspect every grading company, even BGS, is like, we're good. Like, so like at this point, whatever. But in terms of like a long-term strategy, AI is never going to be able to even crack a little bit off of the market share of these other companies because people don't want accurate grades. They want subjective grades where people can potentially earn a 10 on a card that shouldn't have a 10.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If people wanted that system EP, Tag would be the #1 grader already, because that's what they're doing. They use the computer to look at it, and then they have humans look at it after. And, you know, thankfully we don't have any tag bots that watch our programming, or else they would have been yelling at you in the comments, EP.
That's us. EP, you don't read the comments, but that's us.
I know EP doesn't read the comments, but all right, from one new grading company to another, PSA is starting their comic book grading on July 14th. They will begin taking submissions. They released pictures of the new slabs. The 10s will be a gold label. They're actually the same size and dimensions as CGC, and they do have a new grading scale compared to the one that CGC uses. We don't talk a lot about comic books on here because we're card chat podcast, but since PSA, thought we should take a little bit of time to talk about this, like just kind of where you think this will end up going. They did have some comments in an interview I saw where they know they're new coming into this place. So unlike all the PSA card fanboys that just assume that they're going to be like the number one grading company of comics right away, they seem to have a little more reasonable headspace about who they are and the mountain of work they have in front of them to get a footing. But I mean, I'm sure anybody who collects cards as PSA fanboy send their comics there, right?
Sure. I like
you got to rip all yours out and send them.
I was gonna say I have until July 14th to take these and crack them and resubmit them. No, CGC is going to be CGC is the PSA of comics. I mean, they are, and if PSA wants to be the equivalent of CGC in cards for comic books, then that's possible. I think it's bad for CBCS, which is the Beckett comic book grader. I suspect, and I think I said this all the way back when we talked about it originally, I suspect that that's who's going to be hurt the most by this, because there are people who don't like CGC, just like there are people that don't like PSA in the card space, so they're looking for alternatives. And they don't know much about PSA in terms of cards. So they're like, oh, it's a new company. They have experience in grading other things. So maybe they'll be my alternative CGC. I could see that happening. The new grading scale, I think, is really risky for them, though. Like, people are used to the 9.8 and the 9.6, 9.4, and then once it gets to 8, it's 8.5, 8, 7.57, and so on. People are so used to that I think that's a miss from PSA, because didn't other grading companies kind of try and do the same thing, and it was a miss for them on the card space? Does PSA not remember that? Because people are so used to it. Plus, it's hard to get, if you have a CGC 9.8 of something, and then there's the equivalent PSA version of that, it's hard to get comps because you don't have the actual number to number, right? You don't have 9.8 to a 9.8. You have whatever PSA's grade is compared to the 9.8 or something to that effect. So, plus the color scheme, I'm not a fan of PSA Slab's color scheme in general. Red is very harsh. I really like the blue label. I wish they would have done something a little bit different for, I know they want to keep brand consistency, but CGC doesn't. I mean, CGC's card labels look different than their comic book labels now, so I don't think they needed to do that. It is nice to have competition in the space, though. At the end of the day, I am glad there is competition in the space. I'm sure comic book graders feel the same way, but I think there's some misses here, and I think there's going to be some revamping sooner than later.
Yeah, I think they're trying to capture the normies, right? Like they're trying to, the people who are just grading cards, they happen to have a comic book, they're going to get it graded from PSA. Well, I got my cards graded by PSA, so they're going to just send it to PSA. They're not thinking about it, CGC, where the people that are like, the comic book people will probably stick with CGC, except for the people you said, Joe, the people who are, they're already in it. They know, or the people they're already in it, but they don't like the CGC slabs, and they might consider PSA. As far as keeping the same label and stuff, like it's branding, they're just trying to keep their brand going. They're trying to increase their brand, trying to just capture that little bit of a market, and hopefully, and I'm guessing they're hoping they can grow that like they did PSA grading, because remember that Beckett was the number one grader back in the day, back when in the 1990s when grading first started, and then they ended up taking over. And I'm sure that they are thinking, well, we'll eventually take that over too, take over comic book grading as well. But yeah, as far as the missteps, I don't think they. I don't grade comic books myself, but I do understand all of your takes. But I don't think they care. I think that they are just like, we're PSA, we can do whatever we want, and this is how it's going to be. And just push. To
your point about capturing, I think you said it too, Mike. Maybe capturing people who grade PSA cards, to them, it's more important to keep it consistent with their card grading, so that people that are grading cards can know what to look for when they're grading their comics. So that's possible too. but that's just going to keep card people that are submitting comic books interested. Where I think comic book people that only grade comic books, like I don't see Very Gary sending off the PSA. I don't see Jim from Improved Collecting sending off the PSA unless the market tells them that it makes sense to do that. And I don't see it for a while. And then the way that some of these folks know what to look for in terms of how to get their books prepared to be graded, they know what to look for 9.8s, 9.6s, 9.4s, where you have a whole different system coming in. I don't think you're going to get those people. Maybe you're just trying to create a new group of people grading comic books that grade cards now. And maybe they're looking to grade comic books that they might have in their collections. And maybe PSA will train them. You got to grade every comic book. Got to grade every comic book. And all of a sudden they're grading commons, you know?
Yeah. I think they're also looking to get people that collect sports card grading magazines, because I think that's a growing segment of the hobby. And they did mention magazines in particular in the little interview I saw about it too. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of a natural progression. I think you can get a lot of the PSA card graders. Oh, I have this, old Beckett magazine with Michael Jordan on it, and I can send this in to get graded. I think you'll probably, I almost want to say you might see the magazine side of it grow a little quicker than the comic.
And CGC does not have, they do grade comic books, but there's a lot of complaints about their graded magazines. Yeah.
Jeff, before we move on from this, I just want to ask you, do you think there will be flippers looking to buy the PSA slabs of comic books because of PSA's name? And do you think that will drive up their value of PSA graded comic books versus CGC? Or do you think CGC will continue to hold out as the top as far as like resale, because they are the top right now?
I don't see in the short term, I don't see it even coming close. I think it's going to be like SGC to PSA in terms of the short term. Long term though, it would be interesting to see, because of the different grading scale, if someone like Jim from Improved Collecting, who I've mentioned several times, if he sees PSA slabs and they're selling cheaper, similar to SGC slabs, right? There's in the card world, they're selling cheaper. So maybe I can buy this, crack it, and then clean and press it and take it from a PSA 8 to then a CGC 9.8. That's got potential too, just like people do in the card world. But where in the comic book world, you can actually crack something open and improve the comic book by cleaning and pressing it and then moving it on. I don't know if PSA will have, I think they did mention they'd have an internal cleaning and pressing company, I believe, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember that part. Yeah. Although people might have a hard time cracking them out of these slabs because they're
if they're like the one eye,
these are supposed to be heat and water resistant, and they're UV protect. Like, it's supposed to be really, really hard to get into these. So might be a hard thing to get back out of.
That's true.
Well, speaking of comics, did you guys see the prices of Marvel Topps Chrome on release day? I believe this was like $200-ish a box from Topps, maybe a little over. On release day, it was $600 for a box of this stuff. I was so disappointed. This, more than any other release, I think, so far, has really irked me, because it's a nice product. It is nowhere near a $600 product. Topps even, had like a video of somebody opening the box that they posted. And I'm like, for $600, this is what you got. Like, take a good look at that. Like, this is horrible. And I looked, Dave and Adams, as of the time we're recording, we're still selling them. They're down to $550, selling for about $500 a box on eBay pretty consistently right now. But it's so disappointing. And I worry, because same thing with like the Topps Chrome WWE. Comic collectors, WWE collectors, they like to rip product. They like to collect what they collect out of it. And if these things are going to be going like 3 times the cost on the secondary market on day of release, when very few people are getting them from the Topps drop, like I don't know what kind of a business model this is. Like, why are you not making more of it is pretty much the bottom line. I'm thinking, like, why? This is a product that people need to get in their hands and enjoy opening. It's Topps Chrome. It is not a flawless product. It's not a national treasure. This is not a transcendent. This is Topps Chrome. This should be more of a more widely available product. And I just think, I don't know, I think you're hurting yourself if the comic collectors can't afford to buy the cards to rip it.
I've opened a lot of comic book boxes on this channel.
I've seen that.
Yeah, you've edited them, each and every one of them. And people were complaining about $200 a box. And I'm like, I got to be honest, I'm more of a Fleer Ultra guy anyway over Topps Chrome, just as a collector. So, like, I think $200 a box is a reasonable price. The problem is, go all the way back to that interview with Bill Simmons that we talked about on episode 1. I mean, Michael Reuben saying he wanted to get rid of the middleman. What? Then sell directly from, and we were, even I was hopeful because they have the infrastructure in place to do that. They have the infrastructure in place through their clothing line that they could sell just the stuff online and just do it that way. And it's so disheartening that you have companies like Dave and Adams who are getting these massive allocations and then price fixing, let's be honest, price fixing with other large companies like Steel City and all the rest of them, and charging $600 for a box that, honestly, I watched them thinking of $200 a box and thought they were not worth the value of what people were getting. I watched probably a case worth of rips, individual boxes worth. I don't see $200 of value there. I do not understand how people are, at least with the Avengers.
Where does the value come in a comic product?
Right. At least with Avengers, when there was that huge Avengers metal, there was that huge groundswell about how great of a product this is, and it should cost $400. I think it was a box at the time, and it's held because PMGs are just oozing out of that. And people still in the comic book card world still love PMGs, as they should. They're beautiful cards. Like, I just don't see where the value is coming out of these. They have very little original art, very little sketch cards, very little like cool inserts, to be honest. Their autographs are those fake autographs, Wolverine or Mr. Fantastic and things like that. This is a product that for Topps is like all profit because it's just printing off different color. There's, I think, 25 different parallels. There's an Iron Man parallel color. There's a Hulk parallel color. They're just doing green and red and orange parallels and calling them different characters. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The one card that I thought was actually kind of cool, but you made a good point, Mike. It's the Wolverine Claw one, but it's a die cut within the card, but it takes up most of the card, so you can't even really see the character that the claw mark is going through. Cool idea, but I just don't see the long-term benefit of this other than it's the first one. I'm guessing that's what's, but again, how many releases do we need to see from Fanatics to understand that it's not worth it? It's not worth what they're asking for originally, and it's definitely not worth it what it's going for on the secondary market.
June 23, 2025, mark it on the calendar. People who know this and are watching our show, what does it take to leave Joe speechless? It took him a while to get started. Like, what does it take? And it takes Fanatics. It takes the Galactus of cards.
Oh, you brought it along.
I brought it along. The Galactus of cards to get the Marvel license and to do this. And I agree 100% with you, Mike, with what you opened with. Like, this is the launch product. You are launching your Marvel line. You want to get people excited about Marvel, and you're like, I'm guessing everybody with the bots bought all the product up because they can break it and resell it. And said it's going to be $600. And so instead of people being able to buy your product, they're going to spend a product that I agree with Joe 100%. Like, and Mike even said it too. Like you can't get your money back on a product like this for $200, let alone $600. And so anybody who actually buys like $600, I mean, I don't want to say anybody because there are people out there who are like, oh no, I'm okay with just getting parallels. But like, I mean, they are, for some people, they're going to ruin this line, the Marvel line, with their products, with this launch, and I just find that to be stupid. It's terrible. Like I'm he has a huge fan of Marvel. We're all huge fans of Marvel, huge fans of Topps Chrome. Like, this is a horrible launch into their line.
And say what you want about Upper Deck, I had never seen Marvel Madness MCU, who I was on his channel a couple of times. He big Wolverine collector. He's like, does anyone have a line to get some Topps Chrome, because my case fell through? I'm curious how it fell through. I'm guessing it fell through from Topps, is my guess. So you have influencers like that who can't even get the product to open, which is absolutely crazy. I sent you guys a bunch of pics too. A real quick thing. I sent you guys a bunch of pics of some of the cards. So much reused artwork. So much reused artwork. And like, I understand this is art from comic books, so you can pull it down, but you're your own company. Why do you have to use stuff that Upper Deck literally just put on half of their releases last year on a lot of these art, on a lot of these pieces of art? And the amount of characters. So Magic is one of the big hot new characters. It's someone from Spidey Hits has really been collecting their cards, kind of like the Paul Heyman thing, Mike. She's not in the checklist, but like a bunch of characters that people have never heard of are. And it's just like, what are you doing? Did you not reach out to any of these influencers and ask them their opinion on who should maybe be in this large checklist? Like, it's just crazy.
They don't think about the collectors. Like, that's not part of, like, I don't think they have, like, they probably used AI to come up with their list of characters they'd put in there or something like that. They probably used something, did some like sort of search or whatever, instead of actually checking and seeing what the deal was. Like, they're at the point now, right now, they don't care about the collectors. They're just printing money. And again, like, if they cared about the collectors, they would want this to be a home run. They would have put so much time and effort into it, and not just copied the art, and they would have had the perfect checklist. And this goes back to the wrestling product we were talking about last week that it has no Heyman cards in it. Like what are they doing right now?
Yeah. And, you can say what you want about breaking not affecting the prices of wax, but when you have a built-in percentage of your product going to breakers because they have to buy it from you, you can adjust that number anywhere you want and make them buy as much of this product as you want. And I don't know, this was done with the EQL drop, where like you enter the drawing, but I saw very few people on social media or even on YouTube that said they got a box through that. Like, I would love to know the percentage they're dropping through the Topps website compared to what's going out to even just breakers. Like, we're getting a chance to buy such a tiny little part of it, a small percentage of what they're making. And the people who want it to open can't get it. And then the prices are going up because the breakers are getting all this stuff being forced to. You have to buy whatever. And then, Fanatics is making more money because their breakers are breaking it on Fanatics Live, and they're getting the cuts of that. It's just, it's only going to get worse. It's gross.
I might have misheard this from Spidey, but I'm pretty sure he did say, when he was opening up a couple of his hobby boxes, he did say, the retail has the same parallels as the hobby. So buy retail if you're looking for a cheap fix on this. I get that, but then to have your product be so parallel based, but you can get the same parallels out of retail as you can hobby. Why are you paying $600 a box to get, I guess, 3 or 4 numbered cards out of it? Like, I just don't see it. Buy into, as breaks are breakers are the reason this product is going sky high, because they do have that outlet to just make breakers buy this product. But if you are a character collector, I just buy into a break at this point. I wouldn't risk. You almost have to. I wouldn't risk trying to get a box of this for $600.
I was wondering if there's a retail SKU. I'm glad there is. That's
It sounds like there is, and it sounds
they
like
have blasters of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, something else that isn't cheap, we can all agree, is the Honus Wagner T206 card, right?
Yeah.
It's a segue.
Yes. Yeah, it's a segue.
there was one that actually went on auction that just ended, and these don't come up very often, so this is a very big deal. There was a PSA 1 Honus Wagner that was sold through Golden. The final bid, including the buyer's premium, was $4.15 million for the PSA 1. This is the highest price ever for a PSA 1 Honus Wagner, the 12th highest sale ever of any card. Only one problem: it didn't hit the reserve. So it didn't actually sell. So it's not actually the 12th highest sale of all time. It's not actually the highest sale because it didn't sell. This particular card sold in 2010 for $228,000. And apparently this buyer who was selling it bought it at a private sale, and the price wasn't divulged, but bought it in 2020.
Oh,
and now,
woof.
Even though it was $4.15 million, it did not meet his minimum reserve. So do we have somebody who bought a Honus Wagner at the peak that now
for like $10 million, for like $10 million?
Yeah. Comment below if it was anyone watching this. I know EP doesn't read the comments, but yeah, comment below that you're the one that bought the Honus Wagner. Yeah, we talked about it back when we started this podcast. Was basically a lot of these cards, someone's going to be holding a bag, and I think this Honus Wagner, which is not a bad bag to hold, but you gotta wonder in 2020 at the peak what this card went for, that even selling for the 12th highest sale ever, you've got to wonder how much he or she has into it in a private sale. Like, and I'd love to, we would know the answer if we knew the reserve, right? Like if we knew the reserve, that would be the answer. I think this person just wants to get out of it.
Or maybe they have a certain amount of money they want to make on it.
They want to make on it. That's completely possible too. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they paid in 2020 in a private sale more than $4 million.
Yeah, 100%. That's what happened, right? So I paid like $10 million in 2020 for this card, right?
Maybe not quite.
They paid, or $8 million.
I was thinking
right?
5 or 6. I was thinking 5 or 6, but
yeah. And then like the thing is though, at that point, maybe you just that card's never going to probably be worth that amount of money, or maybe it will be in like 100 years or something like that. Like how often between booms? Like about 10 years or so. 20 years maybe between 20, I think. 20 years between booms. That person's not gonna be alive. Just take your $4 million now.
First off, I love the morbidness of EP continues. But I mean,
I gotta bring it back.
A Bitcoin bro might have bought it. EP, you never know. They could be 35 years old, if that. So, but I mean, if you need the money that bad that you're willing to sell it, I'm curious on how much money you actually have when you bought it. Like what's your financial situation? Maybe he and his wife need to buy a house. Who knows? You never think you're going to put certain cards up for sale, and then all of a sudden you need money, and there you go, to buy you and the wife a house. You never know what could be going on financially with them.
Never know.
I
mean, it could just be I'm gonna guess maybe didn't spend $5 million on it, maybe 2.5 or 3, and thought he could double his money. Yeah. I really feel it's probably a certain percentage of money the person wants to make on it, but I mean, it can't be too low of a price because we would have made a decent amount of money at $4.15 million.
Yes, that's so much money for a card, right?
Yeah. So you got to figure he's into it. What, probably at least 3.5, right? Because you'd take
at least. I think 3.5 to 5 is probably the range that I would put him at.
Whew, wow. Okay. Well, speaking of other $1 million cards at auctions, apparently Pharrell Williams, the musician, is starting his own sports memorabilia auction company called Jupiter. I say it that way because it's all capitalized and it's JOOPITER, Jupiter. I don't know. It probably has something to do with
he fell asleep on the keyboard, maybe
brand of his. I don't know. I don't listen. I know him from The Voice. That's about it. But seems like a decent guy though. I do have to say that, even though I don't listen to his music. But they're starting a new auction company, and The first card that's going to be in the auction is a PSA 9 Michael Jordan rookie card with a PSA 10 autograph. But the reason I bring this up is this is one of those cards from that mystery signing in Florida. What was that, a year ago maybe now?
Yeah,
I don't even...
because they were at the National. Weren't they at the
Yeah.
National then? Yeah. So, yeah, probably a year, a little bit over a year.
I saw a
maybe.
picture of the card and I'm like, that looks like those ones. And it is. So
Yeah.
whoever got those cards from Michael Jordan, for whatever reason, Michael had to sign those for him. And PSA,
I think we all know why. I'm pretty sure we all know why.
But yeah, starting to cash in already with a $2 million estimated price on the card. Are you guys in? Should we go together with that money that we have?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to make the first bid.
We're close. We're close.
Come on. Get happy, right? That's what I'm thinking. Pharrell's probably getting happy.
Definitely. He's happy.
He's getting happy to sell this card. I'm guessing that a buddy of Pharrell was one of the people who was in the room that Jordan lost the bet to.
Or he might have been in the room.
Yeah, he might have been in the room, to be honest. Yeah, it's definitely one of those cards. I'm curious to see how much is there. Did you mention an estimated value of that, Mike?
$2 million.
$2 million. Yeah, I'm curious what kind of cut Pharrell's getting out of that.
Yeah,
enough to make him happy.
Maybe
buy himself a big hat.
Maybe Pharrell was the one who chipped in on 18 to win.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Maybe it's his card.
So that's why it's his card. No, I mean,
No,
so what
we
is
don't know that this is because of a bet on the golf course. We don't.
I would bet it is.
We don't.
I would bet Michael Jordan.
We don't know.
I think we'd all bet that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is this episode we were talking a lot about like branding and these new companies coming into the hobby, and it almost feels like the 1980s and the 90s all over again with all these companies, all these things. I found cards at the local hardware store, and I bought cards at the local hardware store a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, and I'm like, it feels very, very much like that. I mean, Joe said it like earlier. I agree. I love to see competition, but like, how many auction houses can the hobby sustain? Like, how big is the hobby that can sustain another new auction house?
Well,
and, like, how do you stand out?
I guarantee you, Pharrell and Golden and those guys hope that at least a couple, right? And they don't give a shit about the rest of them, right?
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
If Pharrell comes in and it pushes out another auction house, what's he care? He's got his auction house, right? And Fanatics auction house is never going to go anywhere as long as Fanatics owns all the licenses, right? And Golden's got a pretty good brand. There's a lot of vintage auction houses. I mean, live for every pot, ask for every saddle, EP.
All right.
The auction house for everyone, baby.
Wow. All right. Let's get one more little story out there this week. CGC is now grading cards for mystery boxes for the Lucky Box vending machines. You know, we saw kind of one of those with the PSA thing. Was that now? That's over a year ago too now.
Yeah. We're getting old.
But yeah, there's this company, Lucky Box, doing the vending machines. They're going to have cards of value up to 5 to 10K, according to CGC. Lucky Boxes want to be in 100 locations by the end of the year, mostly in casinos, most of them in Las Vegas, a couple airports, but a bunch of malls as well, including the King of Prussia Mall.
Road trip. Hey, we are going to the Philly. We're thinking about going to the Philly Non-Sports Card Show, right, in October. Maybe we swing by. KOP.
I mean, I'm always up to stop at the King of Prussia Mall. Because,
it's a great mall.
It's a great mall. But yeah, Lucky Boxes. Here we are. I don't know how you get away with it, but I mean, they
exactly.
do. Like, how can you have one of those at a mall and it's not considered like a slot machine? You're putting in $50 and getting something worth less or worth more, or putting in more than 50.
I mean, even the comparison I would use is they have the lottery ticket machines at the mall, but they're regulated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're regulated. You know, the argument is you're at least getting something. I think that's the argument everyone has when, it's not gambling. You're at least getting something. All right. Well, when that something is worth a lot less than what you're putting into it, I don't know. And I don't like the one talk about hitting the nail on the head with casinos. Just shove those in casinos because it is like playing the slot machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, lucky boxes. If people vandalize these things, they should put a U and an N in front of the name. The unlucky boxes, because you're not going to get $5,000 to $10,000 cards, right? There's no way.
That's a man that's been drinking all day. Very well done.
Darn right, yeah. So, I feel like these are.
I thought you were going to say it's a United Nations thing.
No, unlucky.
Unlucky.
No, unlucky boxes. Okay, I'm not getting political on this show. Unlucky boxes. No, we are again as a hobby screaming at the regulators. Please at the federal government. Please regulate this hobby. Please come in here. Can you imagine people walking around seeing these things at the mall? They're going to pay put $100 in and get a card out of it. It's like a $20 card. Like, what the F is this? And then but advertises $10,000, $5,000 cards, and they're going to get like a $20 card out of it. But they are literally screaming at the federal government to regulate.
It's the same thing that on a much larger scale that they used to have at Walmart's. Remember, you could win this Tom Brady Bowman Chrome rookie card PSA 10, and you buy that box. And you take it home and you open it up. How's that really any different?
It's the same. Yeah, it's not.
So, but it's such a larger scale. It really is kind of like spitting in the face of a local, federal, and state government saying, "Come and get us." Yeah. Right? Like this is so in your face. It'd be hard not to flash a light at someone's office, being like, "I think we should probably look into this."
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still different. Like those were like $5 and $20 boxes on on a shelf at the card.
They were like $60. They were not
really. They were $60. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, they were not cheap. Yeah,
from the ones back then. But this, it's gonna be at least $100 probably, right? Like, what's this? They give any idea?
I would say at least 50, but yeah, it might be 100.
Yeah, I think the other one maybe was 50. I think they have different 50 levels. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. You know what else has different denominations? Slot machines.
I say we just allow it all. Why not?
Thunderdome.
The Wild West. Yeah, Thunderdome.
We might as well. I mean, that's pretty much what the hobby is anyway. So we might as well just do that, right?
Just embrace it.
Just embrace it. All right, guys. I think I'll wrap things up there this week because, EP's background just been freaking me out the whole day. So,
and this man needs to get back to drinking.
I do. Yeah,
he does. Yeah, we're interrupting EP's drinking time today. So, EP, do us a favor. Don't die.
I'll do my best. I
realize you're not as young as you used to be. Our viewers are worried about you, but absolutely do not leave a comment saying, "I know EP won't read this," but don't do that. I beg of you, don't
implore. I implore you.
Implore you. Yes, thank you, Joe. That was the word I was looking for. But I couldn't find it. All right, guys. That was a fun chat this week, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
Adios.